Talk to yourself nice. Yeah.
Talk to yourself nice. Welcome back to She
I
Speaks
love
Live
that
for the 15th
shit.
time. Chevy, that was awesome. I just called myself a dumb ASS, and Chevy said, talk to yourself nice. See, we can learn something. We can all learn something from a millennial. So we're going to get back to this. If you are just joining us, I just introduced Q, aka Funky Dineva. That is his alter ego that gets him a lot of checks for pop culture commentary stuff and things. We've got my girl Stacey J, just date girl. She just got off of a fantastic call with Shay Bucky Johnson, and she's trying to help her find some loving somewhere. We got my sister,
Right.
one of the smartest women I know, whose daughter just graduated summa cum. Was it magna cum laude? Summa cum laude? What is it?
Magna cum laude from Howard University.
All right
Magna cum
now.
laude
Uh-oh.
from
Uh-oh.
HU Howard University, and of course Chevy, our resident millennial. She is also an associate producer on our She Speaks Live broadcast at AIB. I am hoping that I can get a thumbs up from somebody. This is
They
let
said it's
me
all
see.
good.
We're all good.
Yep.
Perfection. We
They
are
said it's
all
all
good.
they
I
can hear
love
us.
this. I love this. I love this. Thank you guys. So I was asking you, Q,
Hmm.
if you had any pop culture news to share with us, and we heard what you had said, but can you say it again
Hmm.
for the people that didn't hear you in the back?
So, of course, Black Twitter and the internet has been set ablaze because Baton Rouge rapper LIl Boosie Badass, aka the resident rap homophobe, took to the internet and said that he basically arranged for his 12 and 13-year-old nephews to have their pee-pee sucked by a grown woman, calling it training them right in prevention of them being gay. I want to read Nikki a very small quote, and these are his words verbatim.
Please do.
My 9-year-old and 10-year-old, I done showed them how to put on the rubber. Before he even starts having sex, I showed my sons how to put on the rubber. Ain't gonna get my motherfucking son get shit out here. I trained these boys right. Ask my nephews, ask them, ask my son. Yeah, when he was 12 and 13, they got head. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. Yes, a grown woman, grown, super grown, checked his ass out. Check all my nephews out, super grown. Is she grown? She checked me out. That's how I know the fuck she did them right. She checked them out. I'm getting them prepared, man. My boys will be built like that. I'm just saying. You bring your juvenile daughter around here, she might get fucked. Sorry, I gotta keep it real. My sons is trained to fuck. They trained to fuck. Yeah, that's how I raised them. I don't care what y'all say. It's better than them watching cartoons. Yeah, that's why they got iPhone 11s. They can watch as much porn as they want. It's better than watching. It's better than them watching cartoons with
Oh
two
my
men kissing.
God.
It's better than them watching TV with two men kissing. It's better than them watching cartoons and all that gay shit on there. I'm getting them an iPhone. They can put Pornhub, XXX, anything in that fucking shit. Yeah, it's like that. We raise them different. Y'all raise them on cartoons.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I don't even know what.
Damn. No, for
So,
real.
so
One
here
more
is the thing.
time.
Okay. Here is the thing, right? And
We
so,
got
so,
sound
so,
effects
so
for your ass, Boosie.
and I'm going to make this very quick. You know, first of all, I
Come on.
question any man who is so preoccupied with homosexuality, right? Like, of all the things that you could have woke up on a random Monday morning at 9:30 in the morning, hungover from your
Mm.
weed and Michelob binge the night before, why was this the first thing on your mind? There could have been black male incarceration. Black men don't know how to fix cars. Chivalry is dead. Motherless sons, fatherless sons. Of all the things you could have talked about, you chose to talk about this. The other thing that's bothering me, and I'm gonna pose this to the group, and I'm gonna get off the line, is if the genders were reversed in this situation, there would be a lynch mob out there looking
He
for them.
would
If
be
he was to say
arrested.
he let a grown man lick and stick his 11 and 12-year-old daughter and
Yep.
nieces,
He
there
would be
would be
arrested.
public outcry. Where is T.I. and all the rest of them when it
Ah, oh.
Oh
comes
God.
to this issue? It's sick, it's perverted,
It is.
and something needs to be
And
done.
it should be getting some grown ass women who happen to be pedophiles
Right.
arrested.
Hello?
Pedophiles
Somebody.
don't just come in as men. So that's
It
some
opened
crazy
up so
shit. And
many
somebody needs to
issues
It
find
with
out
that
is.
who they were.
man that
And
I literally, it takes a lot for me to be speechless, but
Yeah.
it is surprising that this person is calling himself a parent
right.
with this type of behavior and
Mm-hmm.
this type of thought process in it. Like, who? what type of the sad part is from whence he's come. Period. Because I always have to go back to, at one point that was a little baby, and that baby was in the little baby carriage. What had to happen to him not to get him to this place of, this is what a parent is. Like, what the hell did he see? That is horrible. And Q, I have to go back to what you said, for real. The pedophilia, or was it you, Nikki, with the woman, and the reversing of the situation, if it was a little girl and her parents saying, let me just get this man to come stick his penis inside of you to make sure that you don't end up gay. What the heck? Like, that was shocking.
And I'm sorry to tell you that that's absolutely no guarantee that your son is going to end up gay, because
he's going to end up more traumatized than anything.
Yeah, I was on that. There you go. Go ahead, Chevy. I want to jump in. Go ahead.
That's all I had. He's going to be more traumatized than anything, because first of all, that is the tender age of learning stages. So that is you're learning adaptive behavior at that point.
Somebody
so you're creating a monster.
It was a very funny comment. Somebody wrote, all he taught them was that head feel good, and don't he know men suck dick too?
Oh wow!
Oh my God! Lord, you are over sexualizing. You're over sexualizing your children.
I agree.
At this point,
I can't even get to the conversation about sex and what feels good and what, because we're talking about children. Like, no, you know what I'm saying? It's like these conversations don't even belong together. Like, you're talking about what Stacey reiterated your point. If a woman had done this, or any parent done this to their daughter and said, I don't want my daughter to be gay, I'm gonna let some men come over and have sex with my 12-year-old child, or they would be arrested. Are you kidding?
Immediately.
They will be arrested. And so why this is allowed on social media to our kids are already over sexualized.
Yeah.
When you talk about a parent who now has said, oh, let me have somebody have sex with my child. Yeah. The level of trauma and generational, excuse my language, fuckery that this is going to.
Sorry, not sorry.
This child, these kids it's ridiculous.
Many suspect that it was done to him. Many suspect that maybe it was done to him, and that this is a learned behavior. And somebody else posed the question. Perhaps was heterosexuality forced upon Boosie?
Yes. And
you see what I'm saying?
Another issue. That is an issue as well in the Black community. That is the issue as well in our community, is that we attack it as, oh my God, predator, but we never seek the root of the issue and seek rehabilitation.
I agree.
Yeah, and the thing about that is, and I'm sorry, Nikki, I was about to say the thing, and you've talked about this, even like your documentary, Broken Things. When we talk about sexuality in children, nobody knows how it's going to affect them. Nobody has any idea if it's going to make them over-sexualized, if it's going to make them promiscuous, if it's going to make them become introverts and not even want to deal with sex. Nobody understands how a child, because that's molesting a child. That is a
period.
Sexual abuse of a child. Molestation. How it's going to affect the long run, because you're talking about not two children who kind of snuck and got curious. You're talking about an adult and a child. That is child sexual abuse. There's no
brainwash.
It's sex trafficking.
Brainwash.
Like what?
And then honestly, it's making your child scared of you and not giving them the opportunity to really exercise, I don't care how young they are, their interests and their choices. Because this is a world that we live in that should be as far as being in communication with your child, the child has to feel like they can open up to you and be honest. You're being like a dictator, forcing your choices and what you want on the child. When really, even if a child is at a place where they're discovering, it literally makes children rebel without even understanding why they're making the choice. Just because mom and dad said, no, I shouldn't. I'm going to go the other way. When really that could be one of two things. That could be the child rebelling, or that could be the child making a choice. More than not, it's possibly the child rebelling because you're not giving an open window of, okay, let's talk about this sex thing. So what you like? All right, so let's do that. If that's what you like, let's talk about that. Instead of closing the door and having your child be fearful of you and not want to talk to you about anything, which then pushes them into the world to talk to everybody else. And you never want the world to raise your child.
Absolutely. That's one thing I have to say about Helen Gilbert. Rest in peace, Mama. I love you to pieces. Even though we weren't messing around at the time that she said it, she was like, rather than y'all being in the alley somewhere on a mattress, rather than some abandoned house somewhere, if you feel the urge that you got to do something, let me know so I can arm you with all the tools that you need. And I'd rather catch you in my house or catch you somewhere. And I didn't understand it at the time. Like, Mom, what you talking about? You trying to set us up? But at the end of the day, if you don't speak openly about your children and you about sex with your children, and you don't have those conversations, you open yourself up to that. But my big question about this Lil Boosie thing is, where the police? Where's Child Protective Services?
Agreed.
That's true.
Where are these children? And where are these children's mothers? You know what I'm saying? But something in me says that their village probably subscribes to this way of thinking, and that the mothers are probably somewhere slapping 5 over Alizé and a blunt. You know. The other thing that bothers me too, Nikki, about this is just the future implication of the type of males that he's creating. You know what I'm saying? He's saying, you know, if you bring your juvenile daughter around me, they gonna fuck. They gonna, you know, it's sending the message that that's what women are put here for a man, sexual gratification. Also putting all that sexual pressure on a 12 and 13. I could not imagine being in a room, somebody closes the door, and there's some grown, she's got to be a crackhead or a meth head to come in and even want to put her mouth on something that young and that small with baby hairs on it. And you know, like what that's traumatizing to a young boy. And why you saying mine ain't watching cartoons? Well, that's what the fuck they should be doing.
Yeah. Absolutely, 100%. At 12 and 13 years old. So that brings me to one of our first topics on the show tonight.
Oh, that wasn't a topic?
Well, I mean, that was cute, you know, bringing in the pop culture. That was just the appetizer. Doing anything for clout. We live and work in an industry. Listen, some of the shit that they be doing on TV and in social media these days, I be looking like, and I try not to, because you know what, like I said, I think in a few episodes prior to this, I said that I remember walking down the street singing, push it. And my friend grandmother was like, what y'all talking about, some pussy real good? They'll be singing it. I'm like, no, that's not what it is. But in fact, that's probably what the hell they was talking about. But my point, and this was someone's grandmother, so I don't want to end up like an old lady who cannot adapt to the times. But these days, clout and the shit that we do for it, not we, the shit that they do for it, is getting way out of hand. So I think that we become so desensitized based on all the things that we see, all the songs that we hear. Have we basically become a culture where clout is the only thing that matters, and it doesn't matter what you do for it? So, Chevy, you are a millennial.
Yes.
And this clout shit just came along.
Yes.
You know, it's something new. You
so
know
listen,
what I mean?
right? So where I'm standing, Nikki, from where I'm standing and I'm looking at the world, clout is a marketing strategy. Clout is that hashtag Savage Challenge. So I can get more followers. I can get on the Explore page and somebody will click and hopefully they'll follow me. It's a marketing strategy from where I'm standing. Clout. That's how I see clout.
Well, you know what? I think to expound upon Chevy's, it's a marketing strategy, but it's also negative behavior that is positively rewarded. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, Nikki, as much as we want to clown these millennials and talk about their generation is wrong, so on and so forth, y'all are a generation above me, but y'all/we
Are we?
created
Are you a
y'all
millennial
slash
too?
we. I'm
Wait a
83.
minute.
I'm
Where do you
83.
stand, sir?
I identify more with Generation X, but yeah. But the reality of the situation, and I always tell people this: if I was in high school right now, Nikki, I wouldn't have no ambition of going to college. For what? I don't look that Amber Rose, Kim Kardashian, and Jocelyn Hernandez fucked their way into a mansion in the Benz. Why the hell would I want to go study and
I
be in the
mean,
library at 3 o'clock in the morning when I can clap my ass on Instagram and get the same things that the world told generations
you know,
previous that you had to work
But
hard
the
for?
thing about it though, Q, is if money in the bag is your only concern, then I can understand why that be your focus.
Right.
There are some kids out here who are wanting more than that. And
that's
if
what I'm
you are
saying.
from that space of an individual and a millennial, then you do want more than just the bag. You want to
Yes.
be a community person who's being on this earth means more to than just the bag. What influence did you have in your life and your choices to the positive moving forward of community and individuals and people? So I have to, I have a lot of mentees that I talk to, that they are more interested than the bag. What my being here, how is that positively going to impact?
And I think that's a niche group, though, Stacey. I don't think that's the general herd. I think those are the ones who are raised right, who's got the positive influences, who are not easily swayed by what they see in mass media. But I mean, I think that these younger kids, they're being social media and reality television and music combined has created this atmosphere where if I get a lot of likes, I get a lot of attention, I get a lot of money, and it's unfortunately there's been some sort of intrinsic value attached to likes and shares.
Unfortunately, yes, it has. But however, it's 2020, and that's what's happening, and that's what's going to continue to happen. So, do we sit here and complain about it on this live stream, or do we get with it and try to make money off of it? Because at the end of the day, I'm looking at clout as something that can make me money, because that's what we need. We need money as a tool nowadays.
Okay. I got to step in on this, Chevy. So we looking at clout as a way to make money, right? But does it
Right.
matter that there's zero substance usually in those
That's
situations? There
the
is
that's
zero.
that's the
Does it matter that how it's impacting future generations? And let me say this real quick. So I didn't realize how impactful reality TV and a lot of the shit that happens in this world that we call real, that in my opinion is the fakest shit in the world, but whatever. Until my
mhm.
mom was super sick and she's in the hospital. And I'm having a clout and what's going on in reality TV and on Instagram conversation with the person that's taking care of my mother, right? When I
Right.
start thinking about the fact that we are in the real world, we are so impacted and affected by the fake shit that goes on in television, in music. Half the rappers that are rapping about things, they don't have half of the shit that they have. Half of the
Whew.
arguments and the debates and the issues that you see in social media and on reality TV, the shit is just so not real. So are you saying you're banking on fake shit to get by?
No, no,
Because
no.
if no, and let me add
No.
this one little part, and then I'm gonna let you have it. The other part of it is the other part of it is how is it really generating revenue? I know there are people who have millions of followers. If they got millions of followers, they should be able to sell at least 100,000, 150, 200,000 pieces of something. And that's not happening. So how is clout paying your bills, getting you a mortgage, taking care of your kids' education? I'm listening.
Facts.
Okay. So that is one way to look at it. That is one way to look at it and saying, okay, well, yeah, there is fake shit out there. Since I'm not part of that fake shit clan,
Come on. All right.
I ain't got nothing to do with that side of the totem.
That ain't me.
However,
That ain't you.
however, I am on this side of the totem where I can use hashtags and dance challenges and current event hashtags that are going on in my community for clout, for people to find me, to click on my page and say, hey, oh, this girl, she makes jewelry. Let me click on that. So that's what I mean.
You said
as far as
that's marketing to me.
that's how I started out. That's how I started out the whole conversation, Funky Dineva. That is marketing. That clout is marketing.
You did.
I just want to make one comment on this. Yeah, I was gonna kind of make my point, which is, I think we're talking about many different things here. Are we talking about using your social media platform to build your brand?
It's clout.
Stacey is I think it's a little different. Stacey is a genius at doing stuff like that. You know, she will use her brand to build her thing. I'm gonna give my shout out to my sis because she does that well. She will social media. I look on her be like, dang, she did another post. Dang, she did another post.
Okay,
that's work.
Wait, hold on. Wait, let me finish. But what I think when we're talking about for clout, and Nicci, if your subject means do anything for it. Chevy, I know that's not what you're about, and I know that's not what you're saying. There are some people who do those things just to get followers, just to get likes. The clout part and nothing else behind it. And I don't even think you call that clout. I think you simply call that likes and followers. Because clout means you're gaining something with it. You can make a difference. You can
some
put your word out there, and you can move some mountains. You can move some people's opinions. You can become a change maker. So I think yes for clout on that. But are some people doing it and they think they're getting clout, but really what they're getting is made a fool of?
Right. What's the song? I'll do anything.
Do anything for clout.
Yeah, I do. The fact that if you're doing anything for clout and it doesn't have, and what I think Quentin was talking about, yeah, there are some people out there doing anything. Like it don't matter. They doing anything. But I think, Chevy, to your point, now that I'm clear, it seems like you're talking about doing things within the box of whatever your marketing strategy is.
Yeah, that's marketing and promotion. The definition of clout. The definition of clout is influence or power, especially in politics and business.
So my question is,
Go ahead, Chevy. Go ahead.
Okay. So my question is, where is that fine line between clout and marketing? Because the same way we market for She Speaks Live, we're wanting to gain our clout up.
No,
so
let Quentin answer this. Yeah, go ahead.
There's a very fine line, and the fine line and the litmus test is value.
So is clout looked at as a that's what you're saying. So one is the value.
I think we're playing a game of semantics right now, and we're interchanging the Webster-Merriam dictionary version versus the street version of clout. So the street version of clout, and what I think Nicci is talking about right now is mofos doing this alcohol challenge where they're setting their arm on fire with alcohol just to get likes and follows. Like, what is the point in that? You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
Just to get 1,000 likes.
Or you got women walking naked down the highway. I saw this video of this girl walking naked down the highway and her friends filming her just to get her likes up.
So Quincy, you talked about the definition from Webster's or whatever. When did clout become a negative thing?
Okay.
Though
clout becomes a negative thing when you do anything for it. What he's talking about is quantity versus quality. You got people who have millions and millions of followers, but at the end of the day, major sponsors, major advertisers, they don't have anything to do with it. They want nothing. Walmart wants nothing to do with reality TV. Certain people who have deep pockets and real money want absolutely nothing to do with the bullshit that we call clout. Now we can look at Cardi B, and the fact that she has to deal with Pepsi, and the fact that she's all over the world and she's become this hugely successful person.
Megan Thee Stallion has to deal with Coke,
but what I'm saying is that doesn't give them clout. In my opinion, clout is what Byron Allen has, right? Clout is the ability. If you're not getting advertiser sponsor money, which might go over some people's heads and might be a little too deep, but if you're not getting real checks, advertisers, sponsors, if you don't have the ability to put something on TV, to take something off TV, like that shit is clout. All this other stuff is coonery and clownery.
Kind of power. Who has the power?
Because right
to move the needle,
power and who is the operative word in
just
clout.
Getting a check or the bag because someone gave them a contract that could stop anytime that they say stop.
Because the minute Instagram decides to shut it down, Clout is over. Clout is a thing of the past.
Clout for us,
Clout ain't over. Clout ain't over. that those people who
I don't know, a lot of Clout is gonna be over.
But Clout ain't over.
So I understand, because I see how you guys are shifting the dynamic of Clout from positive to negative. Because in the positive light, Ms. Nicci, I would say, like, for example,
so then let's change the word Clout out. I'm sorry. I was going to say, let's change the word Clout out for likes and followers, because that's really what they're doing it for. They're doing it for likes.
But the thing is, right? We're using this word Clout so loosely because, in a good way, I would say, for example, just because we're on this show, right? Ms. Nicci, you're an executive producer in the industry. I would say you have clout in the industry as an executive producer.
I would say that I am working toward what I would say that I have a certain level of influence, which is an influencer on some levels, but clout is me saying to BET, I need y'all to put She Speaks Live on BET. BET her because we need it.
Okay, I get.
Clout is me being able to reach out to an advertiser and say, hey, listen, I got this show. I need you to give me $300,000 or $400,000 an episode to do it. That is clout.
Okay, I get it. Okay, I understand.
Just like the thing that I said earlier, when you have clout, you can make change. You influence decisions. You influence people. That's what having clout is. But chasing it, I think, is the thing that we're talking about. When you're doing anything to get likes and followers, like Q and Stacey said. If you're chasing it, but am I chasing clout by, like you said, Chevy, trying to, build my brand, sell products, make a change in my community, become an influencer in terms of wanting people to get out and vote and be socially active with social justice. So you can have clout. Like I'll give you an example. I think Amanda Seales certainly has clout in the social justice arena.
Most definitely.
And she used her platform on The Real now to even bring social justice even more to the forefront of people watching TV every day. Because she has a ton of Instagram followers, but guess what? It's the millions of people that watch The View.
Watching that show. And she's bringing clout to that show for damn show. Absolutely.
And she is using her influence to gain clout to move the conversation about social injustice in this country. Yes. She is using her platform for that purpose, to gain that clout. And she's going to be, I'm sure, one of the people who folks look to say, come speak about social justice here. Come speak about
most definitely.
So that's kind of how I see the difference in it. So
you gotta really go ahead, Q.
Nicci, I was going to say, I think too, the deeper conversation that we have to have is the psychology behind all of this, which is social media has come along and we have literally seen people go from nothing to something with very little talent, very little effort, by accident or osmosis. And now everybody thinks, because there are virtually no barriers to entry when it comes to social media, they're like, well, forget it. If Cardi did it, I can do it too. Or if this person did it, I can do it too. And it's built this psychology now where some of these people think all I've got to do is get 1 million likes and followers and I'll get a Bentley and a mansion. So by any means necessary.
Hold on. I love you to pieces.
Okay.
But we have to, and I know you, we're friends. But I have to challenge you on that because Funky Dineva, and I know you have evolved. Funky Dineva came in, you put on a wig and it blew up. And then you started to say, wow, what am I doing? This is really going. And now you have allowed yourself to evolve. I say anytime, like she just called you Funky Dineva, I said, no, that's Quentin Lace.
And so it's funny because I am a very interesting case study, right? Because I'm one of those people who make money and a very lucrative, live a very lavish, lucrative life off of the very thing that we're talking about. But I think the difference is, and what people got to understand is, there's 2 masters and a bachelor's behind this. This is strategic. This wasn't, I'm just going to wake up one day and act an ass on Instagram. Or there was analytics and thought that went behind this. This
but
was,
I
made a mistake. No. This was, I was drunk one day and I did this. I saw what happened. Now, how can I make this a business, and the business that I'm in has been around forever. I'm in the entertainment business. The only difference is some people entertain on the big screen on TV, and I do mine on YouTube. I'm an actor. You know what I'm saying? Not just somebody. Not somebody that's sitting at home saying, "Fuck school." Let me cut the.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, I mean to cut you. That's a critical point too, Chevy. While we're talking about it, and I know we've talked this subject to death, but but some of this is about entertainment. Some people see entertainment as reality, and that's the thing that I always am concerned about. Not necessarily about your generation, Chevy, but the ones coming up, the younger ones. Like you talked about, people see, oh, this is all I have to do. Yeah. You know, my daughter's generation, you know, I have one in college and one that just graduated. That generation, who I hope takes social media and utilizes it and takes it to the next level for good and to change society. But yes, entertainment. Entertainment is always going to be a part of that. And we can't be so naive to think, oh, that's going to go away. I get it, right? So there's always going to be somebody who does. I mean, and we are. How many of us is like, oh, I want to do the Savage Challenge? I mean, yes. So entertainment is there. So I'm not mad at the people who can take their talent, because I want to be clear. Nicki Minaj has talent. Mm-hmm. Megan Thee Stallion has talent. Mm-hmm. So now whether people are agree or disagree with how they shake their butt or what they wear, not whatever. I'm not debating that. What I know is those ladies have talent, and they've taken that talent and parlayed it into a living for themselves and hopefully wealth for their children. Now, if you can do that with your social media platform, if you can take your clout and turn it into wealth, I'm all for it. Run. So that.
Then hold on. I'm still on, because now I just got to ask you a specific person who I think is amazing, and she has been able to take her talent, whatever that is, to build it. What about Delicious?
Ooh, okay. So
what's going on with her?
I know. I'm saying that Delicious came into the industry on the show, and then now the career that she's built, she's in radio and all of that. But it started out just booty shaking. What's the guy with the clock? The Shay was.
Well, she was on a
Flavor of Love, but she was on a TV show, and the other thing is, Delicious is also talented. She can sing her ass off, and at the end of the day, it's no different than Marilyn Monroe, Betty Boop. When you are captivating and compelling,
she's very captivating.
I think there's something, you know, there's a talent there.
And
you know
what I mean?
If you have the Cardi B.
I think Delicious's career was the evolution of the video model. You know what I'm saying? I would not call her talentless. She was a video model, and then there was a shift in technology, a shift in trends, and she just happened to be ahead of the curve. She was one of the first. That's how I see it.
And absolutely, the wonderful thing about Delicious is, and the reason why I wanted to challenge this is, what makes her different than the other girls out here that we want to talk about now, just doing anything for clout?
Because she's walking in her calling. Versus
but I think the bigger thing, but I don't believe that initially when she got in it, let me say this. First of all, I'm not suggesting that any woman should do anything for clout, but listening to your discussions on here, my mind has evolved after I think about all of these women, and then even Funky Dineva, which is my Quentin Latham, putting a wig on and saying, whoa, hold on, what is this? There's a business model there. And then him now, 10 years later, making what I know is a lot of money a month by building his brand.
There's a certain level of genius to that. It's no different than what Tyler Perry is doing with Medea. There's no difference than what Flip Wilson did back in the day. That's but what my
mind has now evolved to from listening to you guys is making me think, who are we to judge if anybody is doing it for clout? Because at the beginning, it seemed like everybody just throwing it out there to see what it is.
Okay.
I'm not saying there's any judgment. I'm sorry. There's no judgment for me at all. I'm saying I was answering the question, what we talked about, what's the difference? And again, at the end of the day, people have to decide what they're doing it for. My hope, again, that if you have clout, talent, followers, 1 million likes, whatever it may be, that at some point you're using it, just like I said, for building wealth for your family, to make some sort of impact and change in the world, to entertain people, make people happy. Those are the things that I hope it's being used for. Delicious, who is a sweetheart. I know her, happen to know her through a mutual friend. She's a very sweet person. So when she first came out, I didn't know her. When I saw Flavor of Love, we all were like, oh my God, what's this? Flavor Flav. Ugh. I mean, of course, everybody had that sort of view as a viewer. But again, think of how many people watched MTV to see that show. Millions, because it was entertainment. But that's back to the point I said before. Who are we talking about? Are we talking about people who just, again, somebody, Stacey, you reference somebody walking down the street filming so they can get followers?
Now that is doing anything for clout.
You know, that's
doing anything for clout.
Do you have a purpose? Are you bringing something forward with your talent, with your clout?
Yes.
I'm not, you know, all power. We have social media. It's at our disposal. We absolutely should be using it to the best we can to Chevy build a brand, make some money, get your clout, whatever it is.
People to vote.
Make change.
So if you twerking with your booty shorts on that your company makes, you're not doing anything for clout. You're doing something to grow your brand of your shorts.
You're selling some shit does not mean that you're doing.
Here's and you said you were not judging.
That's what y'all saying.
You said you were not judging, but I am. And here's my litmus test. I'm judging.
I'm just saying what y'all just said.
If you are a young lady who can sing like Miss Charlene, and then you decide I want to get on social media and start doing my skits, using my talents in hopes that it gets me somewhere, I'm with you. If you are somebody who year after year in elementary, high school, junior high, you got named class clown, you are funny, God put you on this planet to make people laugh, I am all there for it. The clout chasers is the talentless bitch that woke up and said, because Stacey did it, I'm finna do it with no direction, no ambition, and you think that this person got it easy when in all actuality, you was put on this planet to be a chef. Or you was put on...
And Clout is what LIl Boosie is doing with his son. Like, what other reason on God's green earth would you have to allow your son and your nephew to sleep with a 12-year-old and 13-year-old to sleep with grown women? What other reason would you be putting that out there?
Well, he's cuckoo.
Right, he's doing anything for clout, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, you know when you put it in social media, it's gonna go haywire.
And he know that people gonna forget about that in a year.
Before we close out, Nikki, I had saw something on the news once upon a time that psychologists were saying they are seeing an overabundance of childhood depression because these children are equating likes and follows to real human interaction. They're attaching real emotion to these arbitrary figures, so much so Instagram played with the idea, and they launched it in several other countries, of removing the likes and share option off of the videos because it was affecting these children's self-esteem, and they never did roll it out in the US. They played with the idea, but the fact that these kids' self-esteem is being tied to how many likes they can get, and that's also what's driving this whole clout chasing situation. Let me do something that's going to get me arrested or hurt just to get likes and follows. We definitely got a problem.
Super dangerous. It's super dangerous. Lucia is watching on Facebook, and she said, so what about the Kardashians? Once again, I say the same thing about the Kardashians that I say about Delicious, and I say beautiful people, no matter how you slice it. Beautiful people are compelling and captivating to masses, period. If you are more attractive, you can walk into and do a job interview and be equally as qualified as a less attractive person and get the job because you're more attractive. People, for whatever reason, are caught up in beautiful things, expensive things, flashy, shiny things. And that's how I look at the Kardashians. But they are also very smart. That mother, Kris Jenner, what do you guys think? I'm sorry, I'm talking. I should be hearing from my guests.
She's controlling.
Lucia says, what about the Kardashians? Who was that controlling? Was that you, Chevy?
She's controlling.
Go ahead, Chevy.
That's all I have for Kris. She's
don't
controlling,
think she's smart?
from what I read. Oh, of course she's smart. You have to be smart to be controlling. Yes.
Okay, Kris, what were you gonna say about that? I'm gonna let you.
You have to be a little bit manipulative.
You know, I mean, she's beyond smart. You know, they parlayed that into $100 million industry. You can't be mad at that. I mean, what? You know, they continue.
I'm mad.
Don't be mad. They continue to use their platforms to build makeup lines and stretch wear, and I mean, they continue to learn how to turn the people that, as you say, Nikki, you are interested in them into money. They built wealth for their family
by way of Black people.
It sucks though, and I gotta.
But we chose to buy.
It's funny.
We chose to
I
buy.
gotta talk. I gotta.
I'm talking about the way they build up their bodies and make themselves look like they were stuff that they're not, just to appeal to a certain type of people.
I'm not debating that or not, Chevy. What I'm saying is they use their platform for whoever was watching.
Do anything for clout.
To build their clout, because they got plenty of clout.
It's funny because I'm actually about, and I rarely do this. I'm about to talk out of both sides of my neck, right? Because on one token, they are the drivers of a lot of this superficiality and a lot of these issues that we see.
Yes.
But on the flip side of things, you have to commend them for being able to take something that was so baseless and so superficial and to be able to turn it into what they have. That mama has got that Kardashian name. It's a well-oiled machine.
Yes,
it is a very well-oiled machine.
That's Clout.
It is.
And then is that doing anything for clout from how we talked about it tonight? Is that doing?
No, because they're not doing anything for clout. If you
I
look
agree.
at the Kardashian brand,
They found the talent in what they were doing, and then they used that and parlayed it into $100 million+ empire.
So where are they not doing anything for clout?
I disagree. Here's where I disagree. I'm with Chevy. They did anything for clout in the beginning, which was they took Kim Kardashian's sex tape, and the name with Ray J, and they blew it up and they spent it off into a reality TV series.
Did they blow up the sex tape, or did the sex tape get released?
Come on, it was strategically done.
It was strategic. There with him, thinking that it was going to do what it was.
It was strategic.
But again, why I said I'm not mad? They put something on TV that people ended up watching. I mean, and it's been around for years. This show has outlasted some good, like, shit. They damn near like Law and Order. You can watch a Kardashian episode from 10 years ago and be like, oh, damn. I mean, and I don't watch them, but the longevity and that they've been around and been able to sustain is amazing. So I'm not mad at the hustle, right? Because they've turned it into, like I said, an industry. Not one thing. They turned it into a Kardashian industry for themselves. But I disagree with Chevy. They did anything for clout in the beginning, and now they turned that into an empire.
And they were able to flip it.
I don't know
if they did anything for clout. I think.
I don't think they did anything.
The sex tape was whether they released it or not, we don't know. But I know that their mother, with the whole fashion brands and the makeup brands and the business of it all, she figured out how to flip that. She's a genius.
I don't know what. All I know is it was out there, and they took the popularity of that whole thing and parlayed it into a television show.
Beauty and sex sells. Period. It's the oldest profession in the world. So that's kind of when you start talking about Delicious and you start talking about the Kardashians and you start talking about beautiful people and sex and all of that. That shit has been around forever. So that's not necessarily doing it for clout.
And they've mastered the art of how to exploit the sensibilities of people. They know that we all want to be beautiful. They know that we all want to be rich. They know that we all want to be dressed. They know that we all want a fairy tale family. They know that we all want the perfect everything. And they found a way to present that in a packageable, palatable way that makes people beg for more.
By getting 10 tans a week and appealing to something that they're not.
But it goes bigger than 10 tans a week.
But
it's bigger than
why
10
do you
tans
think
a week.
appealing at something that they're not? Like I think that the Kardashians,
you being a millennial, is really surprising to me that this is your perspective. Because at the end of the day, if anybody's doing great marketing and advertising and promoting using social media,
they are. Now I'm hating right now. Just mind you, I'm hating right now.
Me too, a little bit.
Because at the end of the day, just saying, I'm hating on the fact that they have this big brand because of how they accomplished it. And it seems like everybody's forgetting that they're fake as hell.
Like, I'm so confused, Chevy.
We don't know.
I'm so confused.
Okay. We gotta get off the clout topic. This is a good topic. This is a juicy topic. And I think on Facebook, Rob Beasy said it's an empire. Nicole said it's an empire. Everybody, look, if you build an empire and you done made billions of dollars, it goes slightly beyond clout. And I think that is the thing that Black folks need to realize. Social media, Instagram, it's like those versus battles. And I got to say this, and people going to hate me for it. But one of the reasons why I can't subscribe to those versus battles, I know it's entertainment. It's there to make us all feel warm and fuzzy, and it's great. And I love every single artist that has been a part of it. But what drives me nuts is the fact that you would get, I think Jill Scott and Erykah Badu got over 1 billion impressions. Why in the entire hell is that not going to someone's website? Why is there not a versus.com website where you can data bank, get the email addresses, the information of all the people who are watching it, so that can be an ongoing source? Like I said, if Instagram decided tomorrow that they were going to turn that shit off, you know what? We tired of y'all. We're going to turn it off. We're going to stop the likes. We're going to stop all of that. Those versus battles are huge. That's stuff that's happening, and that is owned by Facebook. And I love you, Facebook. Don't cut us off. Don't start messing up my feed or nothing like that. I'm just saying. Clout is when you can take a versus battle with all these amazing, talented people, put it on your own website, get the algorithms, get the marketing dollars, get the resources, and all that you got to do is call Wix and put you a site together.
And Nikki, I totally agree with you. I just think the one thing or the one element to the versus thing that we're leaving out is the fact that it literally was something that was born last night, right? Like it's not like they thought it out and then said we're going to do it on Instagram. I think if there was time for them to have actually planned this thing, they probably would have put it on their own platform. It kind of happened haphazardly and accidentally. And so it was like, okay, we're just going to do something free for the people. What's a platform everybody else is on? Bam, let's do it. You know, D Nice set it off. Actually, it was D Nice that set it off by mistake. It was a mistake. It was just, you know.
But now that we know, how many battles have we had? We see, damn, everybody's watching this shit. So those billion followers, those billion followers that Jill Scott and Erykah Badu got should have gone to another website. If you charge people 50 cents and you got 1 billion people watching, or if you charge people nothing at all, just the database of all the people who are tuning in and of itself is worth some money. Exactly. So why the hell are we on IG doing the shit for clout when we could be on our own website doing some money? Yeah. Okay, let's get off of this subject. Go ahead, Stacey. Okay.
No. I was just saying it's millions. That data situation. Woo!
I want to hear what Christine was gonna say in closing, Nikki, if we can. Go ahead, Christine.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
You know what? I mean, it's kind of cute on your same point, which is, you know, Timberland and Swiss Beats started the whole versus thing, really trying to just keep people in the house. They were doing it as really a thing of, guys, stay home. This is serious. How can we entertain people and keep them in the house? So yes, Nikki, I agree. Now you can definitely figure out a way to monetize it for the people who are involved, no question. But it started off, and that's why I don't want to lose that part, because it started off being something
as a
for them to share with us, to say, keep y'all asses in the house. One, the shit is real. We gonna entertain you. You don't have to go outside to get entertainment. We gonna do it here. And so I appreciate them so much for doing that, because those things did help people and are helping people during the quarantine stay entertained. Because it's hard. The quarantine is hard on people when you talk about mentally. Like, because you're so used to doing some things, we're getting more used to it now. So they did that for those reasons. Yes, I agree with you. We should figure out how to monetize it for the artists, no question. So
even if you don't charge the people and you still give it to them for free, my point is the data, like the email database, the people tuning in, the what is it, the impressions.
Well, Nikki, hold on, Lucia just said, and she reminded us all that Erykah Badu took them to everybody to her own website after the verses. So basically, Erykah said, you know what, y'all? I love it. Now come to my website. And she had just as many, over 500,000 people collecting the data. Plus, I was one of the people who paid, I think, $2 to see Erykah Badu in her house, on her bed, do her thing.
No, that's why Teddy Riley shit was so fucked up, because he was funneling the shit through his mixer into his site.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if you go to versusbattle.com, like, you can set the shit up that fast. Versusbattle.com. Just make it available there.
I'll give you a better one. I'll ask you a better question. Why the hell BET don't fell off to the point where they ain't the platform with the damn versus battle being held?
Oh.
We used to have a home for all that type of stuff.
Viacom.
Why ain't shit called 106 and Park presents Versus? BET Soul presents Versus. Midnight Love presents Versus. Rap City presents Versus. Caribbean Rhythms presents Versus.
All of 57 channels.
Go ahead. Why you playing? Listen, so their version of that usually is on the BET Hip Hop Awards with the ciphers. Because the ciphers are definitely that deal and that battle. So I'm with you 100%. That could be
somebody go find downtown Julie Brown.
Come on, find Rachel. You know, Planet Group. No, there's a lot. Again, back to the clout conversation. You gotta have a clout to be able to do that. And at the end of the day, let's not all pretend that the heads of BET who look like us, understand our culture. Yes to black. I'm sipping out of my BET mug.
Hello.
Let's not pretend that they have the ability to just be like, you know what? Forget what the people in the upper room are saying. We gonna do this.
Right.
It goes back to
Black Entertainment TV
numbers
ain't
don't lie,
black
people do. So a lot of times they wait, like in the case of D Nice, Tory Lanez got a show on MTV. And that's the thing I really want us to understand. You guys, I know I do my little She Speaks Live website, my little Divas and Cocktails website, and we were the first. I'm just gonna say it's a lot of Fox, just so you know. Queens and Cocktails is dope. I love it. And I was gonna play a little clip from it last week. But we was the first. Divas and Cocktails. Hello. Yeah. But going back to owning your websites and owning your content is just something that is frowned upon until something like Versus or Tory Lanez Radio or D Nice on Instagram comes along and reminds people that the culture drives the brands and makes shit successful, period. Yeah. So we just have to fight real hard and stupid for people to understand that it's important to have shows like She Speaks Live on TV, because guess what? This is the real shit we be talking about, and it's real issues that impact our lives every day. But because I got a little website and some friends that's willing to come through and share their views, it's not quite popular enough for the men in the upper room. Okay, so let's get off clout real quick, because we got to get into some political stuff, and then we're going to get into the talent stuff, because that's a really big deal. Q, I know you love you some good talent, boo.
I love
Facebook is on fire. Facebook is on fire. The upper room, I sure said it. Okay, you guys, I got my ballot to vote. Can y'all see this? Boom.
Okay,
got filled out, all this other stuff.
Oh, I did.
That's your ballot. That's your application
form. Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you, Christine. That is absolutely correct.
Check her vote.
Check
her vote.
But Lucia had a really awesome question, and I thought that this was something really interesting for us to tackle. Diddy is facing backlash following a recent video chat with Naomi Campbell in which he urged black voters to withhold their votes if their interests don't align with presidential candidate Joe Biden's agenda. The hip-hop mogul made an appearance on a recent episode of Naomi Campbell's web series, see, Naomi getting that check, No Filter with Naomi. During the interview, he told the supermodel that the presumptive Democratic nominee had not yet earned his vote, or that the black community, the black vote is not going to be for free. Christine, spotlight on you, boo. Take it.
You coming to me first. So I'm never, ever, ever in favor of not voting. That means it's faded off the rip. But what Diddy's point that he's trying to make is very valid. Democrats often take our vote for granted. It happens every election cycle. This is not new. That in our lifetime is assumed black people are going to vote Democrat, and that a lot of times our issues, things that are important to our socioeconomic status, the education of our children, jobs, all those things never get talked about. And our agenda generally is put to the bottom because it's taken for granted that we're going to vote for the Democratic candidate, right? So he's not wrong in saying black folks, which is what we should do regardless of who's running, have our agenda together and issues. We have enough leaders We have political leaders. We have a congressional Black Caucus. We have all type of social justice folks where we can put together an agenda. And we use that. Different people have done it over the years. Tavis Smiley, names of, I mean, all these people have come together, put conferences together. CBC has a conference every year where they create agendas, right? The thing that has to happen is me, Christine, and you, Nikki, you, Stacy, you, Chevy, you, Q, have to also decide what's my agenda for my family, my community. How do I make a difference, and how do I impact that agenda, and who is mostly aligned with that agenda? And if they're not, show up to the forums, the social media platforms. It's our job to question these people who are running for office and ask them the questions of, what are you going to do for educational funding? What are you going to do for job creation? What are you going to do for new business startups? What are you going to do for Black women entrepreneurs? What are you going to do for criminal justice? All these things matter. So Diddy is not wrong in saying that candidates need to speak to African-American issues and not just always make it about civil rights, although that's a big part. But we too want to have jobs, want our kids to be educated, want to have opportunities to create businesses, want to have platforms, not be beat down just by taking a jog, right? When a politician is going to make sure that our issues are addressed? So that is the thing.
Is it late for him to be having that conversation though? Because at the end of the day, we know that he's the Democratic nominee. But what I'm saying is, when you say how do I say this? He said withhold your vote. He didn't say inquire about what issues he's going to address concerning the Black community. He said until he proves to you that it's worth to withhold your vote. And so then does that mean if you ain't voting for Biden, you should be voting for Trump, which really isn't about that?
I think he should have said it differently, which is, me, Diddy, because he has clout, because I'm going to stay on this word tonight, since he has plenty of clout.
Is the word,
right? Community, African-American community, he has enough clout that he can actually go to Joe Biden and say, hey, it's about 10 of them can get together, go to Joe Biden and say, we want to see these issues in your platform. That's the kind of thing that you need to use your clout for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Diddy, Jay-Z, Beyonce, all my people, they got enough clout that if they call Joe Biden to a room, guess what? He coming.
Yep.
Right. I said, listen, if we put this out, I'm sorry, Stacey, go ahead. I'll let you. But my point is, they can use it for something, and Diddy can use his clout to do that. He doesn't have to say withhold your vote until you get it. No, you've got enough clout to start putting the platform out there and then encouraging people to go to the polls and vote for the people who are going to put our agenda forward. I'm sorry, Stacey. Go
Myra, real quick, you guys. Myra just said something really interesting on YouTube. She said, "Are rich men talking about holding the vote and people who don't have jobs?" Right.
Yeah, I think that it was irresponsible. I believe that sometimes ego gets in the way of P. Diddy. I'm sorry, I don't know him, but I just got to speak the truth. I think that sometimes ego gets in the way of sometimes these powerful entertainer people, and they forget the responsibility that they have to the masses of individuals that follow them. I would encourage them, him, and all the rest who irresponsibly get on and use social media as this platform to irresponsibly say dumb shit out of their mouth to shut up. Period.
Stacey,
because it's influencing people who look up to you for whatever dumbass reasons that they might or whatever, just because you have the bag, you have the money, you have all of these things, the jewelry, the big house, and all of this. I say, just shut up. Because at the end of the day, we need people to vote. If we are trying to get this man who is our current president out, shut up. Vote for Biden if he is the choice person and keep it moving. Or be responsible, like Christine just said, go in, you, Jay-Z, Beyonce, and all the rest to really inform change, because anything else is stupid and ignorant.
So to your point, Stacey, Diddy, in my opinion,
I'm sorry, that was just the dumbest shit ever.
You're right. Diddy was wrong for all the right reasons. Okay. Now, I think the thing that we're missing.
He's damn near 50. He needs to stop being wrong for the right reasons. That is
the thing that we're missing.
Not to vote.
thing that we're missing in this election, and I agree with you, Christine, about putting an agenda together, this, that, and the third. Unfortunately, in this election cycle, we don't have the luxury of agenda items. We've got one priority. We've got one priority, and it is to get Donald Trump out of office. Even if we go to Joe Biden right now with a list of agenda items and he say, fuck y'all, I'm not granting any of them. What option do we have in this election cycle? We have none. It's either don't vote for him and Donald Trump stay, or vote for him and get him out. Unfortunately, that is the only option we have in this election cycle.
A pandemic in October of last year, and the possibility of one, and we are here today.
In a perfect euphoric society, what Diddy is saying would be everything, but unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of options.
You can't hold that shit, because that's what happened, and we ended up with Donald Trump. People decided they didn't want to vote for Hillary, they didn't want to vote for Donald Trump, so they didn't show up. The worst shit you could do in the world is not show up to vote. That's
period. So y'all vote and vote for Biden.
Let me say this one more time, because I started with this, and I'll be done with this. Yes, like I said in the beginning, in no way, shape, or form do you not go to the polls. That's not even an option.
That part.
I don't give a damn who says it. You see this shirt I got on? No, Rosa Parks, 1957. People.
That part, Chris.
Bled and died for us to vote. So there's never a time when you don't vote. Okay, so that's A. So let me just set that over here. But let me say, Q and Stacey, I totally agree, right? There's no, just like it was in 2016, to me, vote like your life depended on it. I said it on my radio show. Vote, 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 vote. And, it was almost like falling on deaf ears. But what I will say, though, is it's still never too late for us to demand people to put our issues in the forefront and stand up for them. If we said we can turn out the vote higher because you put our issues forward, he would do it. So that's what I'm saying. So I totally agree.
Okay.
But it's never too late to put our issues in the forefront, and in no way, shape, or form am I ever saying don't vote. You vote always. You vote. I don't give a damn what happens.
I'm with you.
It's a pandemic. I'm gonna be standing in line with my mask on, waiting to push the machine. I'm doing it. But yes, I agree with what you're saying, Q. But it's never too late for us to hold our folks accountable. We ain't gotta wait for next time. No, right now. We hold you accountable right now, Biden and anybody else that is going to seek office, and we want to see change.
Right, but you don't. But the subject was what Nicci was talking about, P. Diddy, and saying don't vote.
No, but he was saying
the person not being a person. Right.
But the reason why he was saying don't vote, and that's why I started the conversation, he didn't say don't vote. He said withhold your vote. And that either way, it still is stupid, right?
Okay, good.
My point being, I'm not disagreeing with you. My point being that he, like you said, he's right, he's wrong for whatever you said.
Wrong for all the right reasons.
Right, which means is he wants to hold people accountable for our issues, and that's never wrong. But the answer is not to sit at home and don't vote.
But the responsibility at his age, I know age does not, but you just have to know you've been P. Diddy for so long. You've had this power for so long. There has to be a responsibility at damn near 50, because I'm 50 in January, and I grew up off of you, for you to know the power of your voice, and then how that voice can influence people who we need to vote in the wrong direction, period. Be accountable. If you're going to be accountable to doing a dance off, then nothing. Can we move on?
If I can get a little controversial on that topic, this is a conspiracy theory. If someone as elite as Diddy, his power, sometimes they have to do certain things to assist with certain agendas. So who's to say that this is even something that he wanted to do?
Oh, that's a whole nother conversation. That was some old deep millennial shit. So on that note, it's about, at the end of the day, I think if that were the case, which I don't think it is, I hope that's not what it is. our people are in really, really dire circumstances, and it's important for us to stand up and represent and be willing to do what, as Chris said, Rosa Parks was willing to do, and what Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and so many others are willing to do. So if somebody's telling you that you shouldn't do some shit because, they're threatening you or whatever, what kind of life is that? I don't think that's the case, but So while we're on the subject of politics and government and all of that, something to
I'm
consider.
sorry.
Shout out to our YouTube folks. I'm really excited to see Myra, Crystal. I'm really excited to see YouTube in the place. I'm really excited to see Facebook in the place. I'm really excited to see people watching from SheSpeaksLive.com. Somebody give me a thumbs up if you can still see it there and we ain't turned over the internet. COVID-19, right? I try to limit my conversations about COVID because it is a very dark, depressing subject matter. However, I have to ask, and anybody take this. Lots of states are lifting their stay-at-home orders. Lots of folks are out here in these streets getting hair did, nails did, everything did. Um, are we taking this seriously enough? Are we how do you feel? Some of you may feel like, hey, this shit maybe wasn't as serious as they said it was. Some of you may feel opposite. I know what was dope is that we had a drive-in parade for Christine's daughter who graduated from college this year. This
I
past.
wasn't invited to that, but yeah, I heard it
Uh-oh,
was
see, there I
nice.
go. There I
No,
go.
it
Uh-oh, there
wasn't
I
like
go.
that, Stacey.
There
I'm gonna
I
Starting
tell
go.
you
stuff.
why. No, you
That's
can
okay, honey. That's okay.
drive by
But
right now and come on. You can drive and bring some balloons and all of that.
come
That's
on,
all
get
right.
your
I
drive
wasn't
out.
invited to
Okay, well,
that.
I
Nicki,
talked too damn much. I didn't mean to turn that conversation into
yeah,
that. But are we not
okay.
taking COVID-19 seriously enough, or should we be reintroducing ourselves to society? Q, what you got to say about that? Spotlight
So
on you, boo.
I read a very interesting tweet this morning that said America is the only country where COVID went away because Americans got tired. You know what I'm saying? And I just busted out laughing. It was like even though it's so I can speak for me down in Miami. We are slowly opening. As a matter of fact, starting next week, bars and restaurants can open at 25% occupancy.
I bet not
Retail
see
can
you down at
open
the bar.
and you won't. Retail
Down
can
to the
open
bar.
at 50% occupancy, and hair and nail salons and services that can open at 50% with sanitation and hand washing in between every service. But all the medical professionals, and my sister happens to be a nurse, she was like, what in the dog fuck is Florida doing? Our numbers are still increasing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to say this, right? This is a very hard time to be a governor, a politician, to be anybody because you have multiple masters you have to serve, right? We can't pretend like the economy is not something that one must worry about. We must worry about that. However, people's health and well-being should always trump politics and economics. I don't think a lot of people are taking it serious. I think a lot of people are carrying this attitude because it hasn't affected me or anybody I know personally that it does not exist. I know a lot of people who just say it's the flu, and that I've actually semi-ended associations with folks who are just like, oh, it's just a seasonal flu. It's not real. It's okay. Open up, open up, open up. And folks are dying. In a perfect world, Nikki, I think we would stay closed another 30, 60, 90 days. That would give me comfort. The only thing that I can say is why they're giving this unemployment the way they are, and if you're somebody whose income was not affected, just because they say Linux open don't mean you take your dumb ass down there.
That part.
Let them people if they don't go. You know, at a certain point, you got to practice a certain level of discretion. And yes, it is government's responsibility to cover and protect the lowest common denominator of all citizens. Unfortunately, they are failing us. But for those of us who've got good sense, just because it's open don't mean you got to go.
Yeah, Myra had another good comment. She talked about teaching nursing, which is something I want to get into when we talk on Friday. How many doctors and nurses? There was a whole initiative with Morehouse, and I know this isn't all the way related to what you were saying, Q, but the comment came up, and I wanted to make sure I mentioned it. I feel like we need more. We need to educate our youth and get them in these professions. What first responders, doctors, nurses,
Well,
lawyers,
in New
hero
York, they
rappers.
would in New York, if they had X amount of credits, they were taking them straight out of school and putting them on the front lines. The shortage was
Wow.
just that bad. If they
Yeah.
didn't pass their exams, they were like, fuck it. And what I feel though is that for those that did that, they shouldn't even have to take the test. They certified.
Yeah.
I feel like they should. I feel like they should waive their stuff. They were just that
Cancel the
short. They
student
were
loan debt.
taking.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they should. I mean, they got what better way to get on the job training than incubating people that are dying?
Yeah.
I want to speak to COVID. Like, I don't understand why we are now a people, and this is black and white, because Piedmont Park is just as crowded as Mosley Park, for real, these days. So I don't understand when we are a people that's waking up, waiting on the government to lead us in the right direction to make decisions about what's healthy or not and good or not for our families and our individual health.
Right.
Like, I just don't understand. Just because it's open, I got on press on nails. Press on. Do y'all all know? I don't wear
I had some on
this
last week,
pandemic.
Okay, but I got them on now because I'm not going out there in them streets. Period.
And this pandemic itself has launched a lot of entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
A lot of entrepreneurship. And it's also brought back a lot of self-love. It's showing people what they're capable of. It's showing people what the precious times they've been missing. So we're looking at this pandemic as something that is affecting us negatively when essentially it's something that has turned into a positive, because people are spending more time with their families. People are discovering more things about themselves that they would not have known had they been out in the streets all this time. Now you have time to sit there and reflect.
And guess what? The water's clearing up, the canals are clearing up, the smog is clearing up. Global warming is no longer an issue. No, I don't know that, but I know that it's definitely helping
to Chevy's point, I've been telling all my friends, I said, if you leave this pandemic the same person you entered, you are a damn fool. There is some universal cosmic reason that God made the entire planet stand still at the same damn time, and we will never see this again in our lifetime. So there is something that we were all supposed to get out of this. For you, it might be, I'm supposed to leave my husband. For you, it might be, I need to start a second business. For you, it might be, I need to get my mind right. But there was something that we were all supposed to get out of this cosmic standstill of the universe.
Yeah. It will bring you to your knees to make you pay attention. That's for sure.
Reach through the darkness into the light.
Absolutely. That's it. Ooh, I love that we're getting so much interaction. So, okay, let's get into a little bit of darkness. I'm sorry, y'all.
Is this about COVID?
Heaviness. Well, we just kind of went into COVID, but did you have something else to add to COVID? Because I haven't.
Oh no. Go ahead.
Sure? No, are you sure?
I'm positive.
I gotta make my drink stronger for this. And Christine can handle it.
I gotta go get another drink. I thought we were like, what time we?
Well, we're wrapping up. We are wrapping up, but we cannot wrap up without discussing.
Christine got something on COVID. Then we're gonna throw it to her too for some stuff.
Briana Taylor. Okay, yes, Chris, absolutely.
Just throw this out. Yes, we're in. We're at the crossroads of economy and health, right? Which one is which? It's very difficult, like you said, at this time. What do we put first? And yes, it is the job of our public health departments across the state to lead us in these sorts of things, right? But also, like Stacey said, we do need to take it in our own hands. But where people need to look at their state is there enough testing? And because what they need to get to now is just, can anybody go get testing? Once that's available, great. That's a check for your state. Do they have it where social distancing practices are put into place in these new businesses and things? Have they thought it out and they have them in place so that when the public comes in, they're keeping the social distance? I see businesses who've worked it out. I see others who've not. Like gas stations ain't worked it out. When I walk into a QT here in Atlanta, they piled up on top of each other. Ain't no social distancing happening. I do right in there. I can't go in. I'm in there like, dang, and I'm like, school back, so I'm like, yes.
And that's where you get into a fight for real, right?
I'm serious. They're not getting it. But I tell you what, if you ride past the Tower Liquor Store on Piedmont, they got spaces cut out.
Yes, honey.
When we went, like, I went to go get some wine or something for Maya's celebration. Girl, we went and stood. They have their things taped out. Yeah. One person walk in, the next person walk out. So there are ways, and that's where our government and our leadership has to step in to make sure that the places that we will patronize will keep us safe, We'll practice what's in place, what the CDC and those places are giving us guidance to do. And I will give this other thing. It's interesting. If you can get an antibodies test, get one. So my family got one. I do want to share that. So I have 2 daughters, and they've both been home the entire time. My antibodies test was negative. My youngest daughter's antibody test was negative. My oldest was positive. So she's been exposed. Right. What I said was, thank God that she was exposed and did not have the severity of the illness to where it took her out. Thank God. But then also said she probably got exposed at school. And that when she came home, she might have been past the contagious period. Either way, it gives me a gauge. Oh, okay. So I either haven't been exposed, or if I was exposed, I didn't catch the virus. So it is one of those things I think it's important for us to know and to take in. Dang, Chevy, why you doing that on
there? Chevy, you okay? Chevy, what's wrong, Chevy?
What's wrong?
Because I'm just listening because I'm just listening to y'all, right? And I'm just honestly, I'm listening to y'all, and it's sad that we all just look at the media and just trust the government so much and trust the media so much to just believe what they're telling us is true. I'm a conspiracy theorist to the core. Why? Because I want to think for myself, and I don't want to look at the news and them telling me like, hey, yeah, there are 1 million new cases. Okay, where? Because in my reality, everybody's fine. Yes, there are people sick out there. Yes, y'all created.
Chevy.
Y'all created. You can laugh. You can laugh.
No, let her make her point. You can let her make her point. This is She Speaks Live. She's saying
you can laugh. You can laugh.
We're believing everything. People, she has a point.
There are people sick. There is an illness out there targeted to affect a certain type of people, a certain group of people, a certain group of people that have these pre-existing conditions. There is a virus out there. I am not downplaying this virus at all. However, I am saying the numbers that they are talking about, if you scientifically know how a virus is created and how it spreads, it would not spread this fast, is what I am saying. So what I am saying is I question the truth behind this pandemic, because where it originated, which was in Wuhan, I believe, Asia, there's a reason for that as well. I believe it starts with a W. Y'all can laugh all y'all want to, but at the end of the day,
I'm not laughing at all. I'm concerned. There's no.
I'm concerned, Chevy, and I'm trying my.
But you know what? Let me say this. Let me jump in here though, real quick, y'all. Chevy is speaking it. But I have had conversations with, I'm going to go on and say it, my nephew, a few of his friends, some other younger people who believe, I go to work every day. I don't know nobody that got COVID. Maybe it's all a big conspiracy. Now, we all know, obviously, there's something to it.
Amen.
But
there is something, definitely. There's something there.
So let me say this. Let me say this, Nicci, real quick. And this is where you said, if you know something about how a virus spreads. So, and again, Chevy, I completely respect your opinion. The majority of times that you say things, I agree with you. But on this one, a virus spreads just like it's spreading, especially when it's one that we don't know what it is. Just like AIDS spread, just like all those things spread when we don't know where the virus comes from. So the way in which it spreads when it's a new virus is a very real. And anybody that takes epidemiology as a joke, not you, I'm saying anybody that does that is sadly mistaken. Sadly, that's the one.
I don't take it as a joke.
Not you. I just said not you, Chevy. I just said not you. I just said not you.
Kathy Blakely just said her 17-year-old thinks the same way, and there was a nurse.
That's fine. What I'm saying, and I'm not anybody that thinks that way. Awesome. I'm not trying to debate it, but what I am saying is, you're doing yourself a disservice to think that something like that is not real.
I'm not saying it's not real. No,
you're saying it's a conspiracy theory, and you very
no. Let me clear up what I am saying.
Let me
clear
up what I am saying. Like we was on the Housewives.
I'm sure you can, but let me tell you now. So what I am saying is, at the end of the day, we sit here and we pay attention to what we are broadcasted, right? We sit here and we pay attention to that. Yes, there is some truth to it. I don't understand the joke, because I know people that have been affected by COVID outside of my immediate circle. I'm telling you that at the end of the day, just how the flu pandemic happened in the early 1900s, there was a pandemic of the flu. Now this same thing has happened 1,000 years later, where there's a pandemic of this new flu. However, now what I'm saying is there's a bigger picture to this shit, because now they're going to now they're going to say, okay, now you have to take this coronavirus shot, right? That's what's going to end up happening. Is now you have to take this coronavirus shot. The same way they're forcing you to take this flu shot.
Yeah.
They're forcing you to. My point is, they are gearing us up for something.
Debbie, I think that we have to have this conversation with you later, because we have to be
respectful. Let her wrap up her point. We're about to wrap up, but let her wrap up her point. We can't just put her out there and have it be.
No, I'm saying later, meaning after we come off of here, because this is an emergency.
So Chevy, what is your perspective on it? So
my perspective is this is something that has us in a panic to be able to control something that's about to be implemented in the future, is what I am saying. I'm not downplaying. I'm not
down people vaccinated and stuff like that.
Yes. I am not downplaying. I am not downplaying the fact that there is a new strand of virus. I am not downplaying that. I do not take that as a joke at all.
That's great. Again, so the thing about vaccines, let me say this too, because I'm always going to talk, because I worked in government. I've run a public health department and oversaw it and understand what it is. So it's real. And vaccines do prevent diseases. And the reason now why we have the measles coming back up is because people say, oh, don't get your child vaccinated. So we have something that was basically eliminated from our whole earth and is back because no vaccines. Now, there are plenty of people who say vaccines are bad for you. Not a problem. I don't dispute those people either, because I think they absolutely have some adverse effects. But what I can tell you is, don't take it to the point where you're saying it's all a conspiracy just to give you a vaccine.
That's
not my only point. That's the only point I have time to talk about.
But go ahead, Chris.
Well, Nicci.
Let me say this. Telling people that COVID is not real is equally as irresponsible.
I don't agree to that.
Let me say this: equally as irresponsible as Diddy telling people to withhold their vote. At the end of the day, there's too much risk associated with not taking COVID seriously, and too much risk associated with us not getting our asses out there to vote. I said, I got my application for my ballot. I called it a ballot, but Christine clarified the shit for me, because this is some dosage to me. But anyway, all right. So real quick, we have got to move. Chevy, let me say this, Chevy. First of all, thank you. Let me say this, boo. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being brave enough to speak what a lot of young millennials and a lot of young people, but not just millennials. There's some other folks that I know that are grown as hell who feel the same way. It's a conspiracy. It's not real. If you watch Fox News, you hear it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So there may be something to that point. I think it is not. I don't think that it is worth the risk either way. And I think you'd rather be safe than sorry. So at the end of the day, COVID is real. It may not be impacting us at the levels that they said initially, with hundreds of thousands of people dying from it, but I think that has a lot to do with us practicing social distancing. Okay, so real quick, this has been going on forever, but the beautiful thing about this going on forever is that everybody's saying we should have a serious show, we should have a BET show, we should have I've
enjoyed the conversation.
This is Black Girl CNN, baby. Come on now.
Right. Let me say this, Chevy, and understand. Well, my point, like I said, I love you to death.
I love you back.
It's never a disrespect thing for me.
I know.
For me, it's always from an angle of a seriousness of where I want people on certain issues. And again, that's where my passion lies, in taking things serious and having worked in government and understand how public health works. And my mother is a nurse and has been in it for I'm sorry, I'm about to downplay my mama, for 55 years. So I just come from a different perspective. And so for me, these things are always very serious. And I do know people personally who have died from this disease. So it is a very real to me.
I understand that it's real.
Yeah. And I'm not meaning to disrespect either, but I wear my anything that I'm feeling on the inside comes out on my face. So it is not any disrespect to you and what you're thinking.
That's why out of your face, it comes out of your mouth. But anyway.
I was going to say, Christine, and Chevy, what I love about what you did, what you speak in your opinion, it was kind of like Raven Simone on The View, but to us who are a generation or two, or some of these heifers on here, 3 over you, it's created it's created an opportunity. It's created an opportunity for success, because I'm sure people like Christine will agree. We now know that we've got to do a better job on potentially educating y'all, so we can change y'all from thinking it's a damn conspiracy theory. For those,
right?
I understand.
That's what you said. Don't back away from it. Own it.
That's what you did.
You said it was a conspiracy theory.
I'm saying it's a conspiracy to keep it safe.
I gotta jump in here because we gotta move on. Yep, we gotta move on.
Thank you.
Stacey got places to go and people to see. She got
I just gotta take this makeup and this wig off and these lashes off.
Okay,
and
real quick. This conversation is good and long, but I gotta ask Ahmaud Arbery. Can we please? We talked about this in our last conversation.
Christine have it.
Christine, what are your thoughts? Christine and Q.
Let's Q. Go ahead, Christine.
This your backyard, Christine.
Yes, girl.
You had a lot to say too, Q, but spotlight on Chris.
All of our backyards right here. And I mean, Ahmaud Arbery, I think everybody has been watching the case. You know, we talked a little bit before we went live, which is, different theories have come out now because they shown this new video where he walked into this house that was under construction. Oh, so he must have been the person robbing houses in the neighborhood, which is total bullshit. And I think a few people have tweeted about that this week. We're the only people who we have to prove somebody is not a criminal before we can get justice, which is ridiculous. This man and so many people have come out. The video simply shows him walking in, looking around at the construction house, which I've done many a times here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Folks have tweeted, white folks have said, me and my husband do this all the time. Nobody ever says anything. Of course they don't. So that is a huge issue. And I think, we've all seen it on social media this week, seen it on the news. The bottom line is those 2 men need to be prosecuted because they brutally murdered that man in cold blood, period, for taking a damn job and walking into a house and looking at a site under construction, period. I don't give a care if he walked out with the air conditioner. That don't give you a right to murder him in cold blood in the middle of the street. Period. Period. Okay, so we can, and Q, you said the thing about Candace Owens, and that she took me over the edge this week. So I'll let you comment on that because I don't have nothing nice to say about it. But yeah, it's insane. And as you can see, we have Briana Taylor's case come up this week too, who, police invaded her home. Wrong home on a supposed drug warrant, wrong house, man was already in custody, and now they got her, she's dead, shot 8 times, and her boyfriend is in jail for defending his own household. So again, when we talk about, I'm gonna take this back to this. Diddy's point is this, and wrong in where he said it about withholding your vote, but holding our officials, DAs, politicians, that has to be on the forefront. How are you looking to change laws in this country to protect us? Because right now we're being slaughtered for whatever, when people feel like it, they can do it. That's what's happening right now in this country for African people. And I'm tired of talking about it.
And let me ask you a question, Christine and Nikki both. Do you guys think that there's any direct correlation between the president that we have and some of these instances of racial injustice that we're experiencing right now?
Oh, it's no question. It's no question. It's no question. The whole inciting of hatred started running. And again, I'm not naive. Hatred has been here. It's been here since we came to this country. Hatred has been, and violence has been put upon us since we walked onto these shores. So let me start with that. But again, this overt, let me just walk out here with my gun, just like you saw in the Michigan State Capitol. Sure, y'all saw that. These dudes walked in there with armed machine guns in the state capitol, demanding in my home state to open the state back up. Let me tell you right now, if black people showed up to the state capitol in Michigan with armed machine guns,
then we'll learn just how many guns
we wouldn't have made it out alive. I said we wouldn't have made it in alive.
That part.
And believe that we couldn't have got in the capitol with no machine guns and 50 of us talking about open the state up. Are you kidding me?
And so it's funny. I brought up the president, because it speaks to the larger culture of America right now, and I want to read a quote that I posted on my Instagram that I found on IG. It said, "Only in a racist culture do we ever think it is reasonable for two armed white men to demand a black man jogging to stop for them on the authority of what? Whiteness is not a badge of authority, even if it thinks so, and blackness does not need to be controlled or detained."
Let me say this real
Did you
quick, you
guys
guys. That's
see the
100%.
video? Did you guys see the video with the white man running down the street with a television, a flat screen television, and said, "Okay, so now let's see what this is all about. Let's see if they stop me. Okay, I'm a white man. He didn't have on a shirt. He had a flat screen TV in his arm, and he literally, the camera followed him for 2 to 3 blocks through a neighborhood, and nobody stopped him."
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, the world has become a very angry place filled with a bunch of hate and vitriol. The way Myra just mentioned how our president spoke to the Chinese reporter in the press
Yes.
conference,
Ask
which was
China.
completely out of
Wow.
order. Ask
Ask
China.
China.
And Crystal on YouTube, I agree with you 100%. Since the MAGA campaign, racism and racial issues have been heightened. And at the end of the day, I want Black people to realize that while we running around here doing everything for clout, while we running around here buying our clothes and our shoes and posing in our videos and our vacations and like all of that bullshit, because that's exactly what it is. We need to be magnifying our young graduates, our young students who are working hard to do something great in this world. Because at the end of the day, some of us, as Q would say, are getting old as hell. I'll be 50 in a couple of months. And I want to know that we've left this world to smart, caring, decent human beings. And unfortunately, we've allowed the racism and the hate and all the drama to dictate how we move throughout this country. And as much as we talk about Black power, and as much as we talk about, which I don't even know that we talk about Black power anymore, but as much as we talk about all the inequalities and all the shit that's going on in our community, there's some work that we need to do within our own community, amongst our
Absolutely.
own people,
Yeah, the mirror.
before we before and I'm not one of those people who says, oh well, Black people do it to themselves, so it's justifiable if such and such does it. No, 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 no. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying
Right.
is that we teach people how to treat us, and until we start treating each other better and owning more and understanding the importance of quality versus quantity, understanding that we had the Cosby Show, we had Different World, we had all of these wonderful bits of content that inspired us to want to go to college. That I didn't know what an HBCU was until the Cosby Show came along. I didn't know that a Black doctor and a Black lawyer could live in a beautiful brownstone in Harlem until the Cosby Show came along. You understand? So our content drives a lot of our culture, and I think
Yeah.
we just need to do a much better job at making sure the content, like She Speaks Live, coming on every Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday. No, Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10:30 p.m. Hood time, 10:45, 10:47. Please tell somebody about our show. Please
Yes.
use the hashtag. Please watch it on YouTube so we can get them algorithms up. Y'all be watching Q, please retweet. Please share that this is information that you want to see more of, because guess what? Our community needs it. We need to hear smart people talk about issues that impact us every day. So we're gonna say real quick, we're gonna do this, Stacey. I know you got shit to do and places to go and people to see and all that.
Girl,
Thank
I
you to
just gotta take
everybody.
this wig
I
and
know,
these
but I have to
lashes
do
off.
something real quick.
Okay.
I got to do something real quick for YouTube. Again, for Instagram, we are Monday,
I ain't
Wednesday,
got nobody.
Friday, 10:30 p.m. YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Periscope, and SheSpeaksLive.com. The reason I'm plugging SheSpeaksLive.com so much is the same reason why I talked about this Versus website. We have got to
Clout.
own our content. Exactly, bigger than clout, power. Because like
Yeah.
you said, clout ain't shit but likes and and
And
and comments. You know what
follows.
I mean? And that goes away. Likes, follows, and comments. At the end of the day, if somebody, whatever, we ain't gonna go into
Yep.
that. But we're gonna jump over to IG Live real quick because I got to do something a little special over there for about 5 minutes. I just need y'all for another 5 minutes.
Accept my
Anything
friend
that you
request.
guys want to share with our viewers on Facebook, She Speaks Live and in those spaces. Q, what you got going on, baby?
Well,
Anything you want to talk about?
anybody out there who is looking to change their financial future and get healthy in the midst of it, I am selling TLC products, the Lasso Tea, the NutriBurst. Some of y'all out there been eating all this food during the corona, getting fat and shit. Your husband ain't gonna want you if you put on an extra 15 pounds. He about half don't want you now. So you need to get this NutriBurst, get this detox tea so your big ass can return back to work, the work clothes that you had before you got to corona. You can go to the Miss Funky Dineva Instagram and click the link to join my sales team or to buy the products. And listen out here, and really quickly, and this is not me trying to push product down y'all throat. With this coronavirus, it made me realize, despite the fact that my income had not been interrupted, that a shift in technology or a shift in trends could wipe me out. And that's when I decided to pay a lot more attention to what was going on out here. And I decided to get in this tea business. Granted, I have a bigger social media following than the average person, but I am averaging $2,000 a week selling this tea.
Wow.
That is $8,000 a month. That is $92,000 a year of extra money in my pocket. Not to mention the company pays weekly and daily. If you sell 2 to 3 products a day, that's over $100 in commission income. And just for everybody out there struggling, $100 a day paid to you daily is the difference between you having to call your homegirl saying, "Can you loan me $50 till I get paid on Friday?" or it's tying you over. And I'm just talking real shit. I'm not promising you gonna get rich. You gonna get no Bentley. You gonna get a mansion with a maid, but you can make a little extra. I don't care. I'm selling tea tonight. A little extra never hurt nobody.
Come on. What you got going on, Chris? Where can we find you, baby girl?
I don't really have a whole lot going on right now. Still, doing some things, but you can find me at Christine.Beatty on Instagram. I'm there. I'm chilling right now, Nikki. I'm trying to be the better me. I'm during coronavirus. How about that?
Honey, you ain't chilling. You raising bosses in real life, not clout.
Yes.
Ones that I really look forward to helping us out of this mess in a few years. Okay, Stacey J.
Yes. Well, every Tuesday and Wednesday, I have a new client. We've been doing this live Shay Johnson meets her match thing on Instagram, which it's been a really a delight for me, just because I've never really helped a celebrity find their perfect match. And Shay is really, from what I have learned, a woman who wants to do something different and with her choices in life. And as a love, dating, and relationship expert in this business for the last 7 years, I can only embrace any woman who wants to get something different, so she's willing to do something different. And it's been so much fun with her tonight. Every Tuesday and Wednesday, we have 2 more weeks. I'm really excited about Meet Your Match. I created during this crazy quarantine of singles not being able to come together. I created this amazing platform called Meet Your Match, Finding Love Under Quarantine. It is the world's largest in quarantine speed dating event, to where I'm matching and speed dating with women and men from across the country. So we're going to be doing a full month of that in June. I'm so excited about that. I thought I did it one time and it's coming back.
Follow
so
girl. Yes,
I'm really excited about that. And equally, I have a coaching business. I mean,
I'm in
dating, love, and shut up. We let you talk about your
I'm in
you
love.
gotta let me talk about. You did a whole babyface song.
Right. Okay, Chevy, what you got going on, my millennials?
You ain't right, kid.
I am on a mission during this quarantine, Nikki, to spread the word about helping people who have not learned about financial freedom learn the foreign exchange market, something that's going to be around forever. So I have taken on the foreign exchange skill by, trading currencies throughout from USD dollars with other countries. So hit me up at I am Chevy Carter, and I will sign you up or teach you or mentor you on how to learn about how to do that. It's like the exchange. It's like the stock market. It's that the stock market's going to crash one day, but the foreign exchange market is always going to be there.
But anyway, okay.
Well,
so we've been on for an hour and 40 minutes.
Yes.
And this is a long ass video, and I'm going to have to edit the hell out of it. But I'm going to bop over to Instagram real quick, because I got a couple of people that have hit me that cannot access my Facebook and for whatever reason,
Uh-oh.
no ego. So we're going to literally do 5 minutes on IG. So follow us over there. I'm just going to say hello to the people, let them see that the people is here, and tell them to go check out the YouTube link and the Facebook link. Thank you guys for hanging with us. This is Nicci Gilbert Daniels, Quentin Latham, aka Funky Dineva, Christine Beatty, aka one of the smartest people I know, Stacey J. Johnson, one of the sexiest date coaches and smartest women I know, and my favorite millennial, Chevy Carter, joining us tonight. Next Friday, I'm going to hopefully be talking to well, I'm gonna get it's a surprise. Just follow me on IG. Follow me on IG because I gotta make sure I gotta confirm before I put people business in
As
the
I'm
street. I
yawning.
don't know where
Let,
Terrell went. You guys, I'm sorry. I promise you, Terrell Carter. He unfortunately had a problem getting through on Skype, but I'm gonna try to get Terrell back with his sexy ass so he can sing a little bit. And Q, I'm gonna make sure you on that show too. So
Yes,
thank
go
y'all for
close
watching.
out
Nikki,
my
TV
door.
let me in the club on
live.
Facebook,
I
Nikki.
had
I
to
can't
Yep,
get
I'm gonna
in.
let you
tell
in the
it
club in a minute. So sit tight.
now.
Thank y'all. Have a wonderful evening.
All
Thank
right.
y'all for
What a
watching.
happy day.